everyone, it's Tanya from Royal City Nursery, and did you know we have a whole section dedicated to native plants. More importantly, it's not just about one section. I'm going to take you through a quick walk, but a lot of these plants you'll also find in the rest of our garden center too. So it is something that we believe is super important. Everybody needs to be planting natives, and the awesome part is there's some beautiful color options, so let's take a look. So again, as we work through this space, you're going to find when you visit, we're always going to be adding to this. So this is just the first little tidbit and a little bit of a tease. There's more to come, but there's some beautiful, beautiful perennials that are native. So things like Aquilegia canadensis, that's the columbine, awesome for part shade. We can skip down here to one of our absolute favorites. This is a swamp milkweed. This is really, really good for monarchs, butterflies, and other pollinators. And did you know when we're thinking about native plants, many of them, or most of them, okay, all of them, are awesome for pollinators and attracting beneficials and more wildlife to your yard, which is ultimately what we want. There's some native ginger, the Asarum canadense. Now ginger is what's called an ephemeral, and ephemerals are plants that only show for a very short period of time in the springtime. So we're going to see leaves right now, like we've got some beautiful leaves on these, gorgeous in woodland conditions, in shade. This is not a full sun loving plant, but you get leaves now, and in another month or so, once the heat actually hits, they're going to die off. So things like gingers, trilliums, jack-in-the-pulprits, those are ephemerals. So when you're planting ephemerals, make sure you plant a couple of different things, right? You've got your ground cover ephemeral, and then you're also going to plant a shrub or something close to it, so when these guys die off for the season, you still have some kind of color. There's some huckleberries. If you're looking for a good ground cover that's even edible, let's take a peek at the wild strawberries. So these are the ones that get the juicy little itty bitty strawberries, and they're even in flower. Let's take a look at that. Isn't that beautiful? We've got the native cone flowers. We love cone flowers, always have. And with these ones, leave the seed heads up over winter time, so then that way you've got something for interest, and you also have something to feed the finches and the little birds over winter. One of my personal favorites, we don't get this very often, is a prickly pear. So this is a smooth prickly pear, and yes, it is actually a hardy cactus. You don't see them very often. We're super, super excited to have them. Really good for, again, part shade is the anemones. And these ones are a spring flower, so they're nice and short. They're pretty much at full size right now. So take a look at that, right? We're only looking at something that gets, say, 10, maybe 12 inches tall. White flowers. We've got some more gingers. There's some native bee balms, so this one's a really pretty lavender color. Native eryngiums, or rattlesnake masters. And when we look at this, look at the tips of this. And I know, it's got a little bit of thorn, and that's okay. So every once in a while we get somebody that's got a prickly personality, but you get out of that, you get some beautiful flowers in the summertime. There's the gray head cone flowers. I really like these because these are tall. They're nice and bright, yellow flowers in the summertime. And we also have, now this is the small selection. The big guys, the taller ones, are going to be up top in our tree yard, so make sure you check that out. But native trees as well, so things like red oak. Down here is the tulip tree. So these ones get green flowers. They're buried right underneath the leaves, so you don't always see them. But beautiful, beautiful big native tree. Bittersweet is a beautiful native vine. This one gets orange and red berries in the fall. We've got some snowberry, and snowberry is called that because it gets a white berry that's bright, absolutely bright, crisp white. And then one of my personal favorites, and I know you've watched me long enough, I've got tons and tons of personal favorites, but honestly, serviceberry is one of them. So they flower white. They flower in April, that's right now. Saskatoon berry is the other name for it. In June, we'll get some darker berries on there, some bluish to purple berries, really yummy to eat. And then they turn anywhere from an orange red in the fall. So you can get those in a multi-stem, or you can get them in tree form. Again, you find the smaller ones down here in our native section. The big ones are up in the tree yard. We've got some northern bayberry. Look at those beautiful glossy leaves. And then we still have a titch, just a titch of some of the winter color. So it's going to pop out. The new growth is going to be bright green. And we're going to actually stop on one of the plants that I love to use in our design called a witch hazel. Witch hazel, or the Latin name for this, is homomalus, right? Love to say that word, it's homomalus. So a witch hazel gets beautiful little yellow flowers. Kind of looks like an octopus when you turn them upside down, right? You got all those tentacle-like things. But it's one of the nice ones for a season extender because they flower super late. This flowers in October and sometimes even November. So really different, but it's a beautiful native thing. We love our natives because we get better root structures, we get more pollinators, we get more wildlife, and we get more native plants. Really, what more could you want? We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.